to find a value of cosec x equals 2, you first have to convert cosec x into sine x. So in this case, 2 turns into 1 over 2. Afterwards, you have to input sine minus 1 over 2 into your calculator, in which you'll get 30 degrees. Now there are two possible answers to the equation cosec x equals 2. One of them is 30, and the other one of them is 180 minus 30, which is 150. Now to solve b, which is sec 2x equals 3, it's basically the same principle, so you convert sec 2x into cos 2x, so 3 turns to 1 over 3, and then you input it into the calculator, so cos minus 1 over 3 approximately equals 17.5. But now, because it says sec 2x equals 3, you need to solve the equation for x, so 2x equals 70.5, you divide by 2, so it's x equals 35.25. You find the other solution, which is 144.75, which comes to 180 minus 35.25. There are two other answers, which is minus 35.25 and minus 144.75. So for c, which is cot x equals 1, it's basically the same principle. You convert it into tan x equals 1, you input it into the calculator, which is tan minus 1 of 1 is 45. So there are two answers if you look at the graph. So it's 45 and minus 180 plus 45, which is minus 135. Now for d, which is sec x minus 30 equals 2, again, it's the same thing. You convert sec into cos, which is 2 to 1 over 2. Then you input it, which is 60. Then you have to solve the equation, so you have to add 30 to both sides, which is 90. Now, because there are two solutions, so you also need to solve the equation with minus 60 on the right hand side. So the other solution is x equals minus 30. Now for e, which is cosec half of x equals the square root of 2, it's the same thing again. You convert cosec to sine, so square root of 2 turns into 1 over square root of 2. Then if you input sine minus 1, bracket 1 over square root of 2, you get 45. Then you have to solve the equation, so half x equals 45, multiply by 2 to get x equals 90. Now for the other solution, you have to go to 180 minus 45 equals 135. Then you have to solve the equation again, which is 270. But because 270 isn't in the range, so it's not an answer. So the only solution is x equals 90 degrees. So I'm not going to solve all of the equations because I feel that these equations have an underlying theme. So I'm going to touch on that later. The last one I'm going to solve is g, which is cot 2x plus 10 equals the square root of 3. So it's basically the same thing. You convert cot into tan, and then you input the answer into the equation. Tan minus 1, bracket 1 over square root of 3, which is 30. Then you solve the equation for x. So in this case, if you solve the equation, you get x equals 10. Then you have to add 10 to minus 180 to get the other answer, which is minus 170. I'm so pro.